Hello everybody and welcome back to Streamatrix. My name is Neil and you're back watching your future favorite football channel. And yep, we're back today with a new stream, a new day, and a very disappointing reaction to what could have been a good comeback to our Premier League season as Manchester United. Right, so we have just finished about watching the match a couple of hours back between West Ham and Manchester United, and I think yes, West Ham completely exploited our weakness. Our biggest weakness right now is that we cannot just finish chances. I think we are there in the top 5 XG in terms of in the league, in the Premier League, the number of chances that we're creating, but we are nowhere close to in terms of finishing it and putting the ball in the back of the net. And I think we got punished for that in the second half by West Ham, and there was no excuse for the way we lost. I want to discuss about everything about the match in detail, but overall my feelings are that this was not a match that was worth losing for Manchester United, considering what our form has been. But we are going to dive deep into the match reaction, and also we will do a bit of a player analysis, match analysis. We are going to break down the match into the different segments, including the shots taken, passes, all of the stats that you can think of. So if you like this kind of a content, please do like and subscribe to this channel, and let's get started with the match reaction and analysis of West Ham versus Manchester United 2-1. All right. Okay, so West Ham versus Manchester United. Overall feelings, like I was mentioning in my intro, is that West Ham were not looking even half as dangerous in the entire game. I think in the second half they came out to be better than what our team was in the second half for Manchester United. But overall in the first half, I think we had them. We had them on the cosh. We had them on the defense. The number of times that the ball that we turned over the attacking measures from a defensive position were numerous. Be the Bruno's diagonal pass to Garnacho, which he hit the bar with. Or there were passes from across there was a cross from Garnacho in which Højlund could not just get the ball under his feet, and it ended up being a save for Fabianski. And by the way, Fabianski had a fabulous game for West Ham. Fabianski had a lot more point blank saves in the 6 yards box as well. I think again, from set pieces we were never dangerous. Manchester United overall, I think we will be in the bottom half. Or in the bottom 3 if we were to look at the conversion chances that we have created from our set pieces, be it free kicks or corners. But overall, I think our attacking play in the first half of creating chances was fabulous. I think we should have easily been 3-0 up in the first half, but it was very disappointing that we could not put a few chances in the back of the net. Over the top of my head, I feel Garnacho could have gotten 1 goal. Højlund could have gotten another. Bruno had a beautiful one-on-one with the goalkeeper, along with Dalot, who basically did everything right to get the ball past the goalkeeper, and then he just couldn't net the ball in an empty goal. Like I don't know how Dalot missed that chance, but this entire sequence that we've been seeing over the past few games and almost this entire season, apart from that one game in which we scored 7 goals, I think our goal scorers have not been clinical at all. This is and the problem lies right from the first game, which was Fulham. And I had done a match analysis which is out there on my channel as well, in which I discussed the 5 main reasons as to why that game ended 1-0, and those same 5 reasons still apply in this match, and we are already in the game week 9, and that's really surprising from a fan point of view or from a Ten Hag point of view, that these things are not being looked at, to be honest. And overall, I feel that no matter what our team selection is, no matter what our team formation is, or if we have a lot of injuries and there are players who are filling in for other players, I still feel that we have enough quality in the team to be able to win against teams like West Ham, teams like Brentford, FC Porto, or FC 20. All of these teams that we have drawn or lost or had a loss with. Crystal Palace also, in the first half against Crystal Palace, we were just like, we had them on the defense the entire time, but we just could not finish our chances. And in the end, in the second half, they come up and even if they get 1 goal, they believe. Yes, I do think in this match, in the second half, West Ham did have a lot more hold on the game. They were able to pass through our channels better, and also I feel that to an extent, West Ham's understanding of the game was better. They had changed the formation to an extent, and overall, I feel that yes, it could have ended up in a draw. That penalty was a shady penalty. We're going to talk about Michael Oliver because, of course, I don't agree with the penalty decision. I don't think any football fan would agree with the penalty decision, because there was, if those kind of penalties are going to be given in every game, I think we're going to have two penalties per game. And you could see the amount of time that the on-field referee was taking to confirm the penalty when he went for the VAR check. I think in the end 12 minutes was added because 10 minutes he took just to look at the replay 10 times. And when a referee is that unsure, how can that be a clear and obvious error that the VAR has to intervene in the first place? That was never a penalty. But we should not have been in that position in the first place. It's like the same thing that we are repeating again and again and again after every match, or in every match reaction, basically. So yeah, I think that this has not been the campaign, not been the season that I think any of the fans would have wanted as Manchester United fans. I think this has just given us the kind of start that we've had and the kind of form that we are maintaining and our place in the league right now. I don't think in any which way there is anywhere to hide. And I think I've done match reactions where I've put the title as nowhere to hide. That still applies because there has been no improvement as far as I can see in our playing style, or in our form, or in our wins percentages, or the goals that we are scoring. So yeah, I think overall, as my reaction, again, it was a very disappointing watch as a Manchester United fan. If you're a West Ham fan, if you watch this, I think West Ham got really lucky. To an extent, I feel that it's important that we acknowledge that West Ham did come back strong in the second half. But again, this was not really something that West Ham should have ideally in the first place been in the position of winning after the first half. Like I tweeted out on my Twitter as well. You can follow me there. The links are mentioned in the bar below. But I put it out there that how is this game 0-0 after first half? That should have easily been a 2-0 or a 3-0 after the first half. And when you put the teams under pressure in the first half by scoring a couple of goals, they're going to come back feeling a little bit more scared in the second half. But we didn't have that, and West Ham came back believing, and in the end, they deserved to win the game rightfully in the second half. But was that a penalty? No. Yes, it was given as a penalty, but that should not have been a penalty in any which way whatsoever. But yeah, that's been my overall sort of a reaction. You can put it down in the comments below as to how you felt the match went. But yeah, I'm going to divide this match analysis or review into 3 parts. First part will be we are just going to do a match recap, look at the match report. Second half, the second segment will be us going through the player statistics and as to what kind of shots were taken and etc. And in the third segment, we are going to rate all of these players' individual performances. And towards the end, we are going to also discuss about what Ten Hag could have done better. So if you want to know everything, you can stick around to the end of the video and also give a like and subscribe to the channel as well, because we discuss everything Manchester United. So yeah, all right. So now let's quickly look at how the match fared overall. And if I look at the timeline, again, I think overall, if you're looking at the summary of this game, you're going to look at this and say that West Ham clearly deserved to win. But I'm going to come to the stats in the match report, and the number of chances that we created and missed were innumerable. And considering the talent that we have in Rashford, Garnacho, Højlund and Bruno as our front four, I don't know how or what is going on in the training that they are unable to put the ball in the back of the net. But I think the chance of the game landed to Bruno and Dalot for us. Dalot had to just pass the ball into the empty net, and Bruno just had to head it on target, and that would have been a couple of goals to us, and we might have ended up winning this game. But yeah, that's been it in terms of the reaction. But overall, if you look at the timeline, a couple of West Ham players gets booked. Again, Paqueta had a silly foul in the 25th minute. Mavropanos had a very bad foul against Garnacho. His feet was way high up where it should not have been in the first place. Yeah, those were the first couple of bookings in the game. In the 46th minute, in the second half, there were subs who came on for West Ham, and I think those subs really made a lot of difference. I think Todibo and Wan-Bissaka and Somerville, these three players from West Ham, really stood out for me. I think that overall, if the credit to West Ham's winning goes, it goes to these three, and Wan-Bissaka playing for the first time against Manchester United as a West Ham player. I think he had a tremendous game, be it in the attacking or the defense. I think Wan-Bissaka, I think has been like a very, very smart signing for West Ham. As a Manchester United fan, does it hurt to see Wan-Bissaka play like that against us? It does to an extent. I know that it was time for him to move on, but if we would have held on to him for one more season, yes, we might not have sold him for a good amount of money, because he would have been a free agent next summer because he had only 1 year of contract left. But I think at the time, like the crisis that we're having right now, with only playing with two fullbacks. So if one fullback gets injured, either Mazraoui or Dalot, we are left with Martinez or Lindelof playing as a left back position or a right back position. I think Wan-Bissaka would have been a much better option for that. Wan-Bissaka would have been a talent that we could have held on to at least for one more year, considering the injury situation we have right now. But then again, no use trying over spilled milk, and that's what has been the case. But I think, Todibo, Somerville, who scored the first goal for West Ham, and Wan-Bissaka had a tremendous game for West Ham. For us, again, Telet gets booked in the 59th minute, and then Diallo comes on for Rashford. Now, I understand why that sub was made by Ten Hag, where Diallo on for Rashford, because Rashford was not having an instant impact on the game whatsoever. But then again, I think Ahmad did a lot more mistakes than Rashford when he came on the second half. Yes, Ahmad needs minutes, and Ahmad was an undroppable player in the first few games that we had played, that he had started as well, and he almost felt like he had solidified his position before Garnacho. But I think Garnacho looks a bit more dangerous than Diallo right now, and I think Rashford staying on could have been to our advantage. Ahmad, when he came on, I think towards the end, when the tempo was a little more high and West Ham had were just taking the punches, I think then he had a couple of chances, chance-creating actions. But I think Rashford might have had a better game. We could have held on to Rashford for at least maybe 10 more minutes before subbing him off, is what I personally feel. But then again, that's what happened in the 59th minute. In the 71st minute, Ings come on for Antonio, and then Ings get the assist for Somerville. Talk about instant impact as a sub. And then 79th minute, Zirkzee comes on, and in the 81st minute, Zirkzee comes on for Eriksen. I think that was a very bold call for Ten Hag, and I think he did a good deal, because again, considering the fact that we needed a goal, having two strikers up front might have been a good choice. And considering Zirkzee already plays in a 9.5 position, he could have fitted well within the system. And lo and behold, from a corner, I think. Was it from a corner or a free kick? I forget. But then Zirkzee gets an assist because he heads the ball back to Casemiro, and then Casemiro heads it into the goal. And at that moment, I tweeted out that get in United, come on, we've got to get behind our team and get them towards the finish line and score one goal. And in just a few minutes, in the 90th minute, the Jared Bowen penalty happens. In the 91st minute, basically. And I think from the 84th minute, right from when Lindelof came on till the 90th minute, I think referee took those 6 minutes to just ponder on the fact as to was it a penalty or not. And if a ref there has to rewatch a particular tackle for like 20 times to decide whether it's a penalty or not, I don't know how that's a clear and obvious foul for the VAR to get involved in the first place. But that's what happened. 91st minute, Jared Bowen scores the penalty, and that's it. Game said and done. Because after that, West Ham make another sub. Aaron Cresswell comes on for Rodriguez. And then they played 5 at the back. They locked down the box. We could not get a single shot on target, even from outside the box, and it ended up being a loss for us, 2-1. So yes, I do think that West Ham exposed our biggest weakness, and that weakness is that we cannot finish our chances. And we're going to come to that, how many chances we created in the game right about now. The chat live on YouTube says, so funny how your beard hides your neck and you look neckless. Wow, thanks. Of course, even when we have a bigger beard, it will definitely hide the neck. But if you find it funny, all in good faith, because we love to entertain everybody who comes to the channel. By the way, if anybody is watching who is unable to do the chat right now, as of now it says that you need to create a channel to join the chat, and I don't know why that is. So Sudeep, if you can let me know, if you are available, free and available to do a quick search, and let me know as to how to turn off that setting, so that anybody who does not even have a channel can put a chat in the chat box, because for some reason you have to create a channel to join the chat. So I don't know why that is. But yeah, if you can let me know, if any of you guys can let me know down in the comments as well, it'll be really helpful. But all right, so now let's come to the match report, and we are going to see exactly how many chances we had created, what was our game plan to an extent, and yep. So let's come down right away to the attempts. All right, so we had 18 attempts and West Ham had 12. And I think that is heavily, the overall attempts from 12 from West Ham is more from the second half. I think the first time West Ham had 4 attempts and we had like 13 or 14 attempts or something like that. So yeah, that's what I feel. That's what I think was the stats in the first half. Isn't that always like that on YouTube? I'm not really sure. I mean, there should be some way to disable that, right? Like I'm sure there can be some security setting that can be disabled so that anybody can put a chat in, and you just don't need to create a channel. You can just log in to the YouTube and chat maybe. I don't know. I don't think that's the case everywhere, but that might be the case. But anyways, all right. So looking at the report, we've had 18 shots. They had 12. Majority of their shots came in the second half. We had 10 attempts from open play. They had only 6. We have had 5 set pieces, including free kicks and corners. They've had 3. Counter attack, we had 3. They have had 2. Now look at the total shots. They've had 12 and we have had 18. And our shot conversion rate is 5%. If I go, I mean, I will see if I can do that right now towards the end of the review. That I can go back to each and every match of Manchester United in the Premier League and look at a shot conversion rate. It is not going to be above 10% in any game, apart from the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup game we had, where we played, given like 7 goals. But apart from that, we did not have a single shot conversion rate. Majority of our games had a shot conversion rate in single digits, and that just sums it up. Like West Ham shot conversion rate was 16%, and they got 2 goals. I mean, one was a penalty, of course. But then again, like Onana had to make a couple of saves. And overall, I think when we look at the conversion rate, if from 18 shots, even if our conversion was 10%, we would have still ended up getting 2 goals, and we would have ended up probably winning or maybe drawing this game and getting at least 1 point out of it. But then again, this is a very disappointing situation when you look at the reality of the stats of Manchester United, and this is where our biggest weakness lies. Our shot conversion rate is always in single digits over the past few games, and that has just killed us, and we are unable to win it. Oh, channel, it says no strange wait. Yeah, just see and let me know. Oh, Enzo is here. Enzo is having the time of his life, a West Ham fan. Man, I don't know if you watched the game. If you watched the game, let me know. But then I don't think West Ham deserved to win this game, considering the first half as to the way we played. The first half, it was an easy 2 or 3 goals for Manchester United. But yeah, I was talking to Adam on Discord, and that's something that he mentioned, that you were put an alarm to watch the game. But then I don't know. I mean, the first half could have easily had 2 or 3 goals. Yeah, I think it is just my setting, but I don't know what setting to change. So yeah, maybe I need to just Google it and change it out later, so that anybody who is watching can join the chat. But yeah, all right. That was the total shot target conversion rate in which ways. If you look at the attacking sides and the attacking zones for us, again, majority of attacks was from the wing. For West Ham, it was the right hand side, and I think Wan Bissaka to an extent was driving a lot of the attack for West Ham, and that's why I think it's more heavy on the right side for West Ham. But for for Manchester United, I think both the wingers were in play quite some times. Garnacho had too many shots and too many attempts, but he could not end up getting a goal. And towards the end, Rashford was also trying. Towards the end of the first half, Rashford also had a one-on-one chance, but the ball just would not drop for him. He was in behind all the defenders. So yeah, I think overall it was we had a wing play attacking zones for us, and for West Ham it was more, they were more adaptable, I would say. In the second half they did adapt well to how Manchester United had set up, and that in the end, that by itself was an advantage for them in the second half, when they just got one goal and then we just could not get back in the game. Enzo says, yeah, you just watched it, laid back in bed and watched it. Somerville needs to start. We should have done a prediction this week. I would have smacked you. I mean, I'm thankful that we did not do a prediction this week, but yeah, I was just a bit caught up, unfortunately. But yeah, I am just like happy we did not do a prediction this week. But I, even then in Discord, if you check the Just Chatting channel, I mentioned there that I have a bad feeling about this game. Enzo, if you check in Discord, because for some reason I was feeling that West Ham might get a result from this game, and I was just like not really confident that we would win it. So even if we would have predicted it, I would have maybe predicted this game as a draw. So yeah, that's where I was, my head was at. But anyways, let's look at the short direction, then we're going to move to the second part of this video. West Ham's majority of the short directions were from the middle, and for Manchester United, again, majority from the middle as well. I would say that West Ham's defense in the first half looked so much dicey, and I think our wingers were in behind them a lot, and we were trying to get them in behind as well. But towards the second half, I think Todibo coming on, and also West Ham dropping a little more deeper and not maintaining a higher line, did give them an advantage. And I don't think there were, only a couple of times I think when we went in behind West Ham in the second half, not any clear chances, and nothing that I would say for sure. So yeah, that was majorly it. If you look at the passing in the game, again, pretty much like we've had more passes, like 558 to 415. That's really strange. I did not know that's what happened basically. And average pass streak is pretty much the same. Again, you can have a lot of passes in the ball in the game. You can control the ball a lot, but all that matters is, can you put the ball in the back of the net? Now, Enzo, if you watched the game and you're saying that you did, be honest and tell me in the chat if you think that was a penalty or not, because I don't think it was a penalty in the first case. So yeah, that was never a penalty. Like that, if that's the kind of penalty that we are doing, that we're giving in the Prem right now, I think the standards have dropped quite some bit. But we are going to come to that in a bit. So yeah, that has been it as a match recap of sorts. And now let's move on to the match player performances along with the shots. So firstly, when I'm talking about the weakness and the way and the fact that we could not finish our chances, I think I'm going to talk about the shots and from where they were taken. But before that, let me quickly get another visual up on the screen. Right. Okay, so for West Ham, 20, and again, if you look at this, if you have watched my reactions on my channel for the previous matches as well, if you look at this, you will see that Manchester United's shots in the 6 yards box has always been in single digits. We are not good at dribbling the ball or creating chances and work the ball inside the 6 yards box. That has never been the case. For West Ham, if you see from the 12 attempts that they've made at the goal, only 8% is from outside the box. 67% of their attempts are from in the 18 yards box, and only 25% of their shots and attempts are in the 6 yards box. Then that makes it a little bit more difficult for the keepers and the defenders to stop from the ball from going into the back of the net, and at the same time it creates more options for them and more opportunities for them to be able to convert their rate better, and hence the shot conversion for West Ham is higher than what we have. There's a 16 and we have 15 and we have 5. I wish we had a 15% shot conversion, but we don't. And if you look at Manchester United's shots and attempts on the goal, it has always been the case that close to 50% of our attempts have been from outside the box, and so is the case in this match as well. 44% of our shots and attempts at goal from our 18 shots on the goal have been from outside the box. 50% of them have been from inside the 18 yards box, and only 6% has been inside the 6 yards box. And I think that may have been only the Dalot's chance, maybe, and the Dalot and the Bruno chance, and those were the clear-cut chances where we could have ended up getting a couple of goals. But overall, I think this has always been our issue. We have never been able to work the ball inside the box, and hence you look at our conversion rate, it's in single digits as well. And I'm going to do that. If you look at, I will make a compilation of all these reactions that I've done and the short zones for us, and we will see that every time majority of our shots are from either outside the box or in the 18 yards box, and in the 6 yards box it's hardly very few. So yeah, that just makes it more difficult for us to get it done. Okay, Sudeep says it was a penalty, saying it only to contradict you. Just go and look at into the depth of your heart and tell it with an expression that if this was given against any other team, you would have been riled up as to how is this a penalty, because that was never a penalty. But is that the reason why we lost the game? Technically yes, but then again, if you look at our own performances, we were no better, and I think West Ham deserved to win in the second half. So yeah, that's been the breakdowns of sorts. I showed the short directions because now I'm going to head on to how the players have performed. So we're going to first look at the short because that's the main issue, is what I feel. We're going to look at the short directions, and opposed that we're going to do the player ratings as well. So let's get that on the screen right now. All right, yeah. So what you're seeing right now are all the shots that our players have taken on the goal as Manchester United, and if we see the most number of shots taken attempts is by Bruno. So let's get only Bruno up there, and you will see. All right, so Bruno has taken the most attempts on goal, but if you see, out of his 5 attempts, only 1 is from inside the box, and all 4, and that was the header which was headed over, tipped over the bar. And the remaining 4 have all been from outside the box. And this has been a habit, a pattern of Bruno, that when he's unable to break down the play, he either plays a Hollywood pass, trying to just kick the ball 50 yards in front, or he tries to attempt to take a shot on goal from outside the box, 10-15 meters outside the box, and that does not ever give us a convincing chance that we can get a goal from. If he scores one, great, but if you look at the number of shots he's taken in this season from outside the box and look at the goals he has, I think the numbers just don't add up. So those are all wasteful chances. Out of those 18, those 4 chances from outside the box are pretty wasteful. After Bruno, the player who has had the most number of chances is Garnacho. Then again, Garnacho was dribbling well. The first attempt, he should have had the goal. Again, it hit the bar, and again, it should have done better. A couple of other shots were from all in the 18 yards box, not from an angle where it would have been a certain goal. But I think Garnacho should have the first attempt that he taken should have been a goal. For Bruno, that header should have been a goal. And I think after Garnacho, the second player who should have scored was Dalot, when he had to just pass the ball into the back of the net in an open goal where he had just dribbling past the goalkeepers and the defenders. So yeah, I think these 3 goals were nailed on and should have been a goal. But apart from that, Højlund had a couple of chances as well. He took 1 shot from way outside the box. That was a shot on target as well. That was a powerful shot on his left foot, and it forced a save from Fabianski. So at least that shot had power. But Bruno's shots from outside the box were never going in. And the other shot that he took from inside the box, that was a good cross by Garnacho. The ball was just bouncing around between the defenders. Højlund got a shot off, but it was too close to the keeper, and the keeper saved it. So yeah, again, I would not blame Højlund in that particular position. Yes, if he was an experienced striker, he might have just tried to tip it over the keeper, and he needs to develop in those particular situations. And again, our striker is always in a graveyard shift. He does not get the service that he needs in the first place. But yeah, I mean, if you are playing in the striker position right now as a Manchester United in the Manchester United team, that should be a mentality that you keep, that you need to make most of the 1 or 2 chances that you're going to get as the striker. So yep, that was Højlund. And apart from Højlund, Rashford Oh, Rashford had no shots on target at all. Wow. No, leave alone shots on target. Rashford had no attempt at goal. He might have only gotten an assist from the Garnacho's attempt. But apart from that, Rashford has not had a single attempt on goal. Ahmad had more attempts coming on in the second half. Wow, but those were again shots from outside the box. I have no idea what we are doing with it. Then Casemiro with the goal. He had 2 attempts, one from the header, and the other one was from a bouncing ball inside the box from a set piece also, if I'm not wrong. And yep, other than that, Zirkzee also took a couple of shots inside the box. Nothing that stood out to be extremely clear-cut chance for Zirkzee. For Zirkzee, I feel that unfortunately, again, he came on towards the end of the game, and by then West Ham had gone into a defensive mode, and then it was just too difficult for us to break them down, their defense down. Yep, that's our story. If you see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shots from outside the box. Out of 18 shots, 8 were from outside the box, and the remaining 10 were from inside the box. We should have been able to score at least a couple from these shots. These shots, for sure, 100%. Our biggest weakness is conversion, and that's what basically where we are at as of now. The remaining stats are pretty much useless for us to look at this time, considering the scoreline. But yeah, that's been the major highlight of this game. If we were able to be clinical and finish the chances, we would have had a better scoreline, at least a point. So yeah, that's where we are at. So yeah, that's the overall match review. And now if we come to the individual player performance, let's bring that up. So these ratings that you can see on the screen are given by who scored. These are not the ratings that I personally believe. So yeah, I will have contradicting statements on a few, but a few I will agree with as well. So first, let's start with Onana. I think Onana did not have much to do in the game whatsoever in the first place. The penalty, again, he went the right way, he dived the right way, but there was Jared Bowen had placed it really well with a lot of power. So yeah, who is Michael Oliver? Yeah, Michael Oliver is the legend of the game, who wears blue when he goes to sleep in the night, and that's who Michael Oliver is as a referee. Michael Oliver was the VAR for this game, and he is the one and only sole personality who changed the course of this game from a draw to a win for Manchester United. Draw for a win for West Ham United, not Manchester. But yeah, if you look at the player ratings, Onana again did not have much to do. He did a couple of blocks, a couple of saves. I would give him an average 6. They have given 5.9. I would give him an average 6. That penalty, I don't think was savable. Again, he could have dived a little bit lower, but it's always a toss of a coin. So yeah, I think I would give him a 6. I would give Dalot a 6 as well. An average game. I don't think Dalot it was not one of his best games, and Dalot has been out of form over the past few games because he's sometimes playing in left back, sometimes it's right back. He does not have. I mean, this is not the Dalot that we are used to seeing, and he should have had that goal, to be honest. So yeah, Delete, he has 5.7. He got a yellow card. I don't think Delete did much wrong. He did get the ball turned over a lot of times. He had Antonio covered all the time, and Antonio did not get a sniff of the goal in the first half. And yeah, I don't think Delete was too much to blame. I would give Delete an average 6. Martinez also would be an average 6 for me. Again, Martinez did a couple of good clearances, a few good tackles, but nothing much when you're considering 2 goals in the first place. Any which ways, which was again not their fault, to be honest. And also, if Delete was given 5.7 because of the penalty, that was never a penalty. That was not his fault, and I will stick to it. That was never a penalty. The time that he took to decide that penalty, that's just it was never a penalty. What is Sudeep saying? The amount of appreciation and adoration in your answer. Which answer? For who is Michael Oliver? Yeah, I appreciate him a lot. I appreciate Michael Oliver like I appreciate my shit. It comes out every day. and I'm happy when it's not inside me, and I think that just came out to be wrong. I was trying to frame something, but right now I'm just going to stop because it'll just come out to be wrong. So I'm just going to stop myself there because I'm just fuming at the fact of what Michael Oliver is, because he did give a penalty against Manchester United in a Manchester derby, which was soft as fuck. So yeah, I don't know. Michael Oliver is something that I really, again, I appreciate him a lot. I appreciate him too much. Like, I think he's a treasure of this game. Yeah, stop laughing, stop laughing, Sudeep. But yeah, he's living inside my head rent free. For the amount of times he's done injustice in the game of football, he should be banned from refereeing. But anyways, coming back to the rating, yeah. So Martinez and De Ligt, I would give an average 6.6. Mazraoui had a decent game. I would say Mazraoui was shined in the left back position more than Dalot, at least compared to the past couple of games. And yeah, I think Mazraoui, a full starting 11 after his injury, he played well, decent. Again, did not go. I mean, here 7.3. Maybe he played a couple of key passes, but I didn't notice him as much as I would have liked to see him being noticed. So yeah, I would give him a 6.5 maybe. Eriksen had a decent game. I think I don't know why Ugarte did not start again. I don't know what is up with Ugarte not playing. I think again, I understand why Eriksen was picked. Eriksen is having a good form right now. He did score a couple of goals as well, and he had a lot of goal creating actions. So yeah, I think overall Eriksen is having a good game, a good few games. So yeah, I think his form is on point. But yeah, I think Ugarte could have come on in the second half, or once he conceded one goal. So yeah, I don't know why Ugarte is not playing. Casemiro, he got an 8.3 because of the goal, and also I think because he was creating some good tackles, even though he looks a bit out of pace. I think I would give, alright, so for Eriksen, I would give Eriksen an average 6 again, just like De Ligt, Onana, Dalot. I think it's all a 6. For me, it's all an average performance. For Casemiro, for getting that goal in and for going on and for the entirety of the 90 minutes, I would give Casemiro 7.5. Which would be, I think he would be my man of the match for at least scoring one goal. So yeah, I would give him a 7.5. Garnacho, I would say, did not have an average game of sorts considering his talent. He's just a 20-year-old kid. He's developing right now, but there are higher expectations considering the fact that he had so many chances, but he could not put them in the back of the net. I'm going to give Garnacho a 5.8, just below average, because he should have had at least one goal from the chances, from the good chances that he had gotten in the first half. For Bruno, I would give Bruno maybe 6 again, an average game. He had a lot of chance creating actions. He could have gotten a couple of assists if our forwards have had net the goal. But yeah, I think Bruno again ended up having an average game because there are no assists to his name, no goals to his name. He missed a couple of chances, took some random shots from outside the box. So yeah, I think for Bruno that's the case. With Rashford, I would give him, with Rashford also I will give him the same as Garnacho, 5.8. There was not much of an impact from Rashford in the entirety of the time that he played. Højlund again took a couple of good shots. Our strikers are always going to be in a graveyard shift because we don't create much chances for them. So, but for Højlund, I'm not going to give him below average. I'm going to give him an average score of 6 again, just like the other players. So my rating for the starting 11: Højlund 6, Garnacho 5.8, Bruno 6, Rashford 5.8, Casemiro 7.5, Eriksen 6, Mazraoui 6.5, Martinez 6, De Ligt 6, Dalot 6, Onana 6. That's where I stand as my ratings. You can put it on in the comments below if you think any different, and if you have any other viewpoint. We'd love to hear from you as well. Yeah, feel free to let me know about that. And let me get this working first. Yeah, Sudeep, if a Punjabi found Eriksen beautiful, he'll call him Sony Eriksen. Wow, that's the joke of the day. If you don't know Punjabi, I am really happy because you don't need to know the joke and for what it stands. But yeah, good job, Sudeep. I don't know what happens to you at this time in the night, and that you get such amazing puns. But yep, I want to wrap this up quick. It's already been 40 minutes. Oh wow. Okay, all right. So for our substitutions, Ahmad, I would give him again below average 5.8. I think he could have had, his dribbling was not on point today. He was losing the ball more than our other attackers, and he could not create any sort of an assist or a goal from his presence as well. So I would give him the same as I'd given the other wingers, 5.8. Lindelof, again, he came on towards the end, last dying minutes. Nothing to say here. I would give him an average 6. Zirkzee got the assist. So I'm going to rate him a 6.5, like I did for Mazraoui. So yeah, that's my player ratings, done and dusted. For here, for in who scored the overall rating for Manchester United 6.57, I would give an overall rating for Manchester United below average 5.8, I think, or 6, maybe just average as an overall team's performance. And for Ten Hag, I would rate Ten Hag again. Is he to blame? Should Ten Hag be sacked? Now, in the thumbnail, you would see that I've mentioned that it's time to reconsider. And I think the faith that Ten Hag was given at the beginning of the Ineos realm and Ineos era that we as Manchester United fans are living in, I think Ten Hag has not been able to create or repay that faith to an extent. To an extent, what? Like looking at our league position, I'm going to bring up our league position shortly. Looking at our league position, I don't think Ten Hag deserves the credits, and I think to an extent he needs to get the criticism as well, because no matter, yes, as a manager you can train the team, you can give them the tactics, but you can't step on the field and play on behalf of your players. And I'm sure Ten Hag will be as furious as any of our Manchester United fans as well. But in the end, it all also lies about the mentality that we instill in our players as from the management team, from Ten Hag, from our coaches, from our coaching staff, all of that put together. So if I look at that, I don't think that Ten Hag also is free of criticism over the form of Manchester United. And I'm not talking just about this game, but overall, I think I have always supported Ten Hag and his vision and the way the first season went. The first season was full of hope. The second season was full of expectations. The third season had even higher expectations, considering not higher that we need to win the league, but higher at least we will be in top 4 and a strong position to be in the Champions League next season, or win the Europa League. But right now, in both the tables, in the Premier League and the Europa League, our form has been absolutely terrible, absolutely like shit. And Mourinho had said in the interview before our Fenerbahce game that United's results are not reflecting the team that they have, and that's absolutely true. That our team has a lot more talent than what our results are showing right now. And if we do not look to the manager, we have to look at the entire team, the manager, the players. What is up with our physio team, that we are getting so many injuries and so many long-term injuries at that. I mean, we can't be unlucky season after season. I don't think. So yeah, we really need to question that part. But also we need to look at the commitment that is being given to Ten Hag, the support that has been given to Ten Hag. And I think the management team need to go back to the drawing board and see if Ten Hag is still the right fit for Manchester United post this season. I don't think they're going to change him towards the winter, I don't think. But you never know, considering the team form that we are in. So I would give Ten Hag for this match, I would give Ten Hag an average 6. I mean, Zirkzee, his sub, had an instant impact. But apart from that, there were no formation changes. There was no counter tactics being used to get. I mean, it was basically copy and paste from the first half. It's just that in the second half, West Ham was more well prepared, and Ten Hag just went ahead like it's plan A as usual, and there was no plan B and plan C. So it's going to be an average 6 for Ten Hag as well. The chat, Sudeep says, who are these viewers? You leave a comment, lovely people. Like and subscribe for average luck. Yep, that's out. That's a shout out to all the viewers. But at the same time, unfortunately, I don't think they can chat if they don't have channel created. And that's so stupid. I need to get the security changed on this live, and I don't know how to do that. So I need to Google that after. I'm going to do that after this stream, and hopefully I can get that sorted out before I start the next stream. Get Pep for United. So that is the question. Do we think that changing the manager is the solution for to get Manchester United up and raring to go, because you've seen the same pattern after Van Gaal was sacked, after Mourinho was sacked, after Ole was sacked, after Rangnick was sacked. We've seen the same pattern again and again and again, that the players get a new manager bounce, they play well for 6 months, and then again it's all down the drain. And right now we have a lot of new players, and we need to start building a new culture, and that is what is more important. So do we think if we sack the manager, will that sort all our problems as Manchester United? I personally don't think so. Yes, we can have a better manager, but even if you're bringing the legendary managers in there, I don't think. See, Pep without a support. Alright, so Pep, wherever he's gone, be it Barcelona, be it Bayern Munich, or be it at Manchester City, he's gone 100% support of the board. He bought the players that he wanted to buy, and he had a good recruiting team at that. He had an open checkbook. He could buy whichever player he wanted in any of these teams. And for Ten Hag, the first couple of seasons, he did suffer a lot with the decisions that Glazers had done, and Glazers out still. But then, I don't know where we are going to be at. So let me just quickly bring up the table, and then we can have a quick look at where we are at as Manchester United, because it's absolutely shameful. I'm just going to enlarge the graphic so that it's easier for us to see. Yep. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Manchester United after 9 games is below West Ham. We have played 9, we have won 3, drawn 2, and we have lost 4. And our form in the Premier League: win, draw, win, loss. In the last 6 games in the Premier League, we have won only 2, and that is insane. That is I mean, look at that. We are closer to the relegation teams in number of the points difference than we are to the top 4, or it's exactly the same. 7 points to the relegation zone and 7 points to the top. So yeah, if we think that Ipswich will not finish in the 13th or the 14th position, then we have no right thinking that Manchester United will finish anywhere near the top 4, because after 9 games, 7 points difference is a lot. And look at Chelsea. We all laughed at Chelsea, but then they're in the top 5 right now. Yeah, so again, the team position, the league position that we are in right now is absolutely devastating, humiliating, embarrassing. I mean, the players, the management. I know Ten Hag comes out always and supports his team and says that, yeah, I mean, it's just a bad game, or today the agenda will be that it's just bad refereeing. Yes, it was bad refereeing. It was never a penalty. But I don't think that's the main reason that we lost. We lost because we could not score a single goal in the first half. Yep. So yeah, that's been it for my match reaction. Let me get this. Ooh. Right. So that's been it for my match reaction. I have. Yeah. All right. So I have given my views. You can let me know down in the comments if you agree with them or you disagree with them. If you disagree with me on any of these topics or discussions, feel free to let me know in the comments below, and I would love to hear from you guys. I am very disappointed as a Manchester United fan, and I hope to God that there is a miracle that happens and we end up at least in the Europa League position for the next season, because I don't think we're going to win the Europa League as well. So yeah, yep. So that's been it for my match reaction. If you are new here, this is Streamatrix. We talk everything about football, Manchester United, and Major League Premier League. And up next, I'm going to be resuming my Manchester United career mode. There's an interesting story about that. I'm going to speak to you guys about that in that live. That live is scheduled on my channel, where I'm going to move to right now. So if you want to catch up with me playing my Manchester United career mode, where we are actually winning and where we're actually at the top of the league right now, I think it would be good. One second. It would be a good time overall. I think overall our experience as Manchester United in the career mode has been far more entertaining, far more rewarding than what Manchester United have been in real life. And yeah, I'm going to see you there. It's there on my channel. You can move over to that link, and I'm going to start streaming in just a few minutes there, and that is going to be on Twitch as well. So Okay, so the chat is saying that you did the Sudeep disagrees with the match mic setting being unmuted for so long. I'm going to talk about what he's talking about the match setting, but I'm going to see you in the next live that I'm going to do with my Manchester United career mode. If you want to have a bit of a oops, the chair went down a little too early. But I want to expect if you want to have a bit of a laugh and see Manchester United succeeding in the virtual life, then yeah, come join me there, and I'm going to see you there. Take care. Good night. And if I don't see you there, then have a good week, good rest of the week, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Take care.